Escucharte es proporcionarlo y que mi alma la magia fuerte. Tierra y agua, aire y fuego, varita, tentáculo y espada. Trabajar con mi fuego y escuchar y amar. Velas de incienso, cáliz y cuchillo, poderes de la laga del brujo. Levantar con día, yo soy fuego. Venid y ayudar a la muerte. Venid del cielo y la tierra. Hasta la cazadora de los poderes. Y a sus poderes que me tengo en el altar. Y haz verdad mi voluntad. Por Dios.
So today on El Sancista Show, I'm going to show you how to make sal azul. And as I'm sitting here just mixing el sal azul, I just thought of a Puerto Rican proverb that we say in Puerto Rico. And it says, que falte todo en la casa, menos la sal y el arroz. This simply means, let everything in the house be missing but salt and rice. Well, rice because it feeds us, and salt because it flavors it. But rice because it is abundant, and salt because it's purifying. So I was thinking about that as I'm mixing this. And I'm just going to show you a simple recipe on how to make sal azul today on El Sancista. And I'm just trying to break as much as vanilla as I possibly can. This is what I want to show you today on El Sancista Brujo Luis. Sal azul. So the products that I'm going to use for this formulario are very simple, very basic. You got to remember that when I do a formulario or formulary, I try to mimic what my grandmother did. And in those days, in the olden days, our abuelitas in the Caribbean, in Puerto Rico, Mexico, wherever they may be, they didn't have local botanicas that they can just go to or New Age shops. So they had to work with ingredients that they either can find in their backyard or in the local botica, farmacia. So I'm just going to show you how she made it. First thing you're going to do is you're going to have your mortar and pestle, your maceta, your pilon, okay? You're going to have that's heavy. You're going to have a mixing bowl, and I just have this clay mixing bowl. You can use any mixing bowl you want. My grandmother, when she made sal azul, it was just very basic, very simple. It was just 2 ingredients. I'm going to use 5, okay? But I'm just a kitchen salt. Any kitchen salt will do. That's fine, okay? She used 2. Whatever she could find, she used it. I'm also going to use fine sea salt, okay? You can pick this up at a local market. Coarse sea salt. Again, you can pick this up in any local market. I'm going to use Crown Indigo Bluing. If you can't find this, go to a Botanica or New Age shop and look for the anil balls. They're little blue balls. Look for that. But I always have my anil. It comes in square packages. Go to your local Botanica or your New Age shop and search for this, or the round little anil. Just to add a little bit more, I'm going to add the Mrs. Stewart's Bluing. The Bluing, Mrs. Stewart's Bluing. You can pick this up at any local market where you buy products to wash clothes. This is excellent for washing spiritual clothing. This is what I use all the time. all my spiritual white clothing, I just use this, or I use this, okay, with a little bit of salt and whatever. But anyways, if you can't find this, you find this at your local market where you pick up your laundry detergents and all that. If you can't find it, go online. Amazon, I think Amazon sells it. I'm going to show you a picture. This cost me like $2 here. So shop around for an affordable price. I bought 3 bottles, and I use this a lot in a lot of my spiritual baths and some of my formulas. So pick up some Mrs. Stewart's Bluey. Whenever working with any forms of salt, you always want to take a little bit of your salt into your right hand, just a little, couple pinches, and you want to throw it over your left shoulder. You always see people on TV, on cooking shows do that, and people who are superstitious. You drop salt, you take a little bit of that salt with your right hand and you sprinkle it over your left shoulder. On my left hand I have the ring of it. Well, the God of Mendes, but anyways, you're going to take it and you're going to throw it over your left shoulder. This is to ward off bad luck, to ward off negative spirits, evil spirits. And if you look at the Da Vinci painting, in the painting of the Last Supper, you will see Judas Iscariot, the one who betrayed Jesus. He's sitting on the table and he's holding a bag of money, and by his right elbow he spilt salt. That signifies betrayal. That signifies that he was going to betray Jesus, and that the devil was on his left hand side, telling him to do that. So the origins of salt, sprinkling, if you drop salt and you sprinkle, you cross yourself and you sprinkle it over your left shoulder, the left hand side is viewed as the evil side. This has to do with ancient Roman customs and traditions. Salt was viewed as very expensive, and to drop salt, you would be dropping your luck, your fortune, your abundance. If salt was to sprinkle, if by accident you sprinkle salt, this could be a warning sign, an omen that there was bad luck around you, there was an evil spirit around you, someone had thrown the evil eye around you, or your good luck was going to spill all over the place. So you always took that salt over with your right hand and you crossed yourself. And I have the gourd of Mendes on my left hand side, but you take it and you sprinkle it because you don't want that. You want to repel it. You don't want to be in salao, as we say in Puerto Rico. Salt was very expensive. One of the most expensive products in the ancient world. It was used as money, so believe it or not, it was used as a form of currency. So to spill salt is like to throw your money away. And it also is a symbol of, if you spill salt, again, evil eye. There could be someone's throwing the el mal de ojo on you. There could be the evil eye, a negative spirit, un diablito is on you, and so you use that salt to repel it, to remove it. Okay. Now blue. Blue is one of the 3 primary colors. There's blue, there's red, and there's yellow, and from these 3 colors you can make all the colors in the spectrum of the rainbow. So blue is a cooling color, while red is more of a fiery color. Okay, and in the spectrums of the chakra, you will see that blue is up high on the spectrums of the chakra. If you believe in chakras and all that, blue is very calming. You think of a blue sunny day, you think of a beautiful ocean. The blue ocean, a blue lagoon, is very tranquil. It brings tranquility. It brings calmness. Some forms of blues can make you feel depressed. So I wouldn't paint my bedroom this color blue. That would be depressing. But in general, blue is a calming color. It brings balance. It purifies. If you see the evil eye ornaments that the Greeks make, they use that indigo blue color because blue wards off the evil eye. So this is why I'm using Mrs. Stewart's bluing or I'm going to actually use them both, the Anil blue blocks, which you can pick this up at any market where you pick up your laundry detergents, or any botica, which is a pharmacy, or bodega, Hispanic bodega, or check out in Indian markets. You can pick this up at Indian markets, or you can pick this up at a lot of Indian markets, and actually really affordable. But again, blue is very calming. It's purifying, and it is one of 3 primary colors: blue, yellow, and red. While red is more hot in energy, more fiery in energy, blue is more calming, more cool. Red represents sun or the day, while blue represents the coolness of the night, the moon energies and all that. So blue is the color that we're going to use for our sal azul. Sal azul literally means blue salt. So here are my ingredients that I'm going to use to make our sal azul. First, I just have a little flat bowl, just so you can use it. Just for the video, you can use any mixing bowl, doesn't matter. I have this terracotta bowl, and I'm going to use coarse salt. Any brand is fine. Now, if you can't find coarse sea salt, you can use fine sea salt. If you can't find fine sea salt, then just any household salt will do fine. Again, I'm going to use the Mrs. Stewart's bluing, and I'm going to use 1 tablet of Crown Blue Anil. Okay? Pretty much this is all you need. The olden days, they just used pretty much just household salt, and maybe an indigo ball, an anil ball, or a crown square, or they used, of course, the Mrs. Stewart's bluing. So let me show you how to make. This is really a simple recipe. I'm just going to start off with the basic salt. Okay? Remembering, whenever you sprinkle salt, you take with your right hand, take a little bit with your right hand and sprinkling it over your left shoulder for good luck. Okay? So now I'm just going to I'm making a little bit, taking the coarse salt, sprinkle a little bit, and the fine sea salt. Sprinkle a little bit. Of course, it's not going to come out the way I want. And sprinkle some in. And then you're going to take the Mrs. Bluing, and let me unscrew it. So now you're going to take your Mrs. Bluing. Has this little, so it doesn't come out too much. Sprinkle as much as you want. Don't worry about your hands. This comes off really easy. And you can see it's going to start clumping up, but that's fine. With your hands, you can see it doesn't. If you use food coloring, your hands are going to turn all blue, and that's what you don't want. So you're just going to keep stirring this with your hands. And right there, you're going to start praying and blessing it. Any prayer that you want, you just keep stirring and mixing until you get the blue color that you desire. Again, look at that. It doesn't get into your hands. Might get in your nails, but it doesn't. If you use food coloring, your hands are going to be all blue. And you're going to pray and bless and consecrate it. And there you have the basic recipe to your sal azul. Very simple. Now I want a nice, actually it looks really good. I'm going to take, it looks kind of like aqua blue in the video, but it's a really nice, the video doesn't even do it justice. It's a really nice indigo blue. I'm going to take it a little step further, and I'm going to crush up an indigo. I'm sorry, I keep calling it indigo, a crown blue, a square, which I already took out right here. I'm going to mix this into my salt. Just like that, real simple. And again, just keep mixing, praying as you mix. And you're going to notice, again, look at that, nothing on your hands. Well, you might see a little residue, but if you use food coloring, your hands are going to be completely blue. This is a basic recipe for sal azul. Real simple. I'm going to add a crushed up indigo. Okay, let me get that started. So here's my mortar. Here's my pestle. And again, I'm going to crush up a crown blue tablet. You can find these at the laundry detergent section of your store, as well as this, or you can check for these products in your local Hispanic bodega, or where you buy your laundry products, or online. You can check them up in Botanicas. So here's my blue square, and I'm just going to crush it. Real simple like that. And you want, right now the salt looks this nice, beautiful blue, and I like it so far. I mean, I like it fine so far, but I just want it to be a nice blue color. I'm just going to crush that up with my mortar and pestle and get into a nice fine powder. Once you have it into a nice powder, which is what I have right here, that's really quick. You're going to add this to your sal, your salt. This is a heavy mortar and pestle. And you're just going to mix this in to your salt. And then you're going to get that beautiful blue color that you want. This is actually really dark. You want a nice salt. So I'm going to add more salt to this. You're going to add regular salt. Regular coarse salt. Until you get the blue consistency that you want. There's really no messing this up. And you might get a little bit of the blue. This washes off real easily. And you just keep stirring until nice and mixed. Now, since we did use a little bit of the blue, Mrs. Stewart's, I want to make sure that this dries up. It's not that bad. It's a little clumpy, but I want to make sure it dries up. So I'm going to place it in a sunlit window, or if it's sunny outside, see that beautiful blue color? That's what you want. Let me stir this up real good with both hands so I can see what I'm doing. As you can see, some different shades of blue, and you want it all one uniform color. Let me do that. So this is your basic recipe for your sal azul. I know that a lot of people on YouTube are going to add essential herbs, essential oils, herbs. I'm just showing you the traditional formulary of how it was done by our grandmothers on the island. They didn't have essential oils. But this is not, for, if you add your oils and all that, you're making a bath salt. You can make a bath salt with this, and that's just fine. But this is for removing bad luck, for sprinkling around. Like, let's say someone throws a fetish around your house. You see it. You take the sal azul. This is just a formulary. It's a, what do you call that when you have a base ingredient that you place aside and then you bring it out to mix it with other things later? Can't think of the name right now, but a lot of people are going to add essential oils and all that. If you're going to add oils, you got to remember that sal azul is for protection against black magic. You sprinkle it around the house. You can use it as a floor sweep. You can sprinkle it on a bath if you feel that you are under psychic attack. So if you're adding essential oils, which our grandmothers didn't have, in the olden days, then you're making a modern day, what do you call it? A modern day, what do you call those? Salt baths. So now, remembering that I placed, so Mrs. Stewart, I'm going to place this in a window for a couple of days just to make sure it dries out before I bottle it. A couple of days, 3 days before I bottle it, I want to make sure it's nice and dry. See, it's a little clumpy, and you don't want that clumpiness. You want to make sure it's nice and dry. So I'm going to place, it's a sunny day outside today, so I'm going to place it outside in a place where it's going to get nice and dry for me. So here is your basic formulary for your Sal Azul. I'm leaving it outside for a couple of days just to make sure it dries out before I bottle it. Make sure it doesn't rain. I don't think it's going to rain today. It's a beautiful day. But if it's going to rain in your area, leave it by a window and leave it out for like 3 days. You want 3 days at least. And every day stirring it with your hand. And then it's ready to bottle and save for future uses. But that is your basic Sal Azul. So now that my Sal Azul is made, it's prepared, it's blessed, there's more to it. I just wanted to make this video short. I know it's not going to be short. I like to keep my Sal Azul in a pizzeria glass bottle. I picked these up cheap. I picked these up at like secondhand stores. This cost me like $2. It's a really beautiful bottle. So I keep this and I use it when I do spiritual baths. When I sprinkle around the house as a floor sweep. If someone throws a fetish outside, I mix this salt with my own urine and I sprinkle it around the fetish and I sweep it away. Again, I use it to purify, to cleanse. I don't really add oils or nothing to it. I don't want it to go rancid. So this could last me forever as long as I just use the salt and the bluing. I know that people are going to come up with their own formularies. This is just a simple formulary, the way it was traditionally done. I know tomorrow Facebook and YouTube and everyone's going to have their version of it, but this is the way our grandmothers, our abuelitas did it, just very simple. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, please subscribe, please leave a comment. This will last you indefinitely. As is, you can add it later to oils, you can add it to your baths, you can add it to little packets, you can sprinkle it around, for children for good luck. Don't consume this. The reason why I wouldn't consume it is because, of course, I'm not going to consume that. So please do not consume this. This is not for consumption. This is for sprinkling, for blessing, you can sprinkle this into your floor wash to mop the floors. You can sprinkle it around the house, sweep it out, afuera, with the negative bad energy, all the while praying. Again, in baths, in reguardos, if someone threw a fetish, a bad luck item outside your door, take a little bit of this, sprinkle it around it. You can urinate it also, make a circle, do a prayer, sweep it out. Make sure you don't pick it up with your bare hands. Always your glove. Any fetish that's thrown outside your front door, make sure you never, never, never touch it with your hands. You can use this salt also when you want to get, you're done with somebody who's negative in your life, and you do like Poncho Pilato. You take a little bit of your Sal Azul, sprinkle in your hands, and you wash your hands. Y me lavo las manos, as we say, como Poncho Pilato. I wash my hands of the situation. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Sancista Brujo Luis. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Subscribe. Hit that little bell button right there, or right there, or right there. I don't know where it is, but hit that little bell button to get notifications when new videos are coming out. I hope you enjoyed. This is Sancista Brujo Luis. Mucho, mucho, mucho amor. Los quiero mucho. Thank you very much. Sancista Brujo Luis.